You know, with Thanksgiving right around the corner, I thought I'd pick up a new toy. So I got this electric skillet. And I thought, since I'm using it, I'll do a product review. So this skillet in particular has a non-stick surface, 18 inches wide, which is way bigger than it looks on this video. It's great because if all your burners are used up for the holiday meal, you can put this right on your counter and cook. You can boil potatoes in it, whatever you want to do. Today, though, we're making chicken paprikash, a famous Hungarian dish. Now I'm going to put a half a stick of butter in there. You saw me just turn it on, so you can see how quickly it does heat up. So that part I'm happy with so far. This is my first time using it, by the way. So for this recipe, you need a half a stick of butter and a half a cup of olive oil. We're going to let that do its thing while we go season up our chicken thighs. I prefer thighs. I think they taste better. They don't dry out near as much. So I'm just going to put some salt and pepper on here. And here's the thing about thighs. These were vacuum sealed into little packages. So I thought it was like 2 thighs per package. So I took out 2 packages. Turns out there's a whole lot in there once they defrost and start to separate. So this is Hungarian paprika. So the only Hungarian paprika I could find was hot Hungarian. So I'm going to use regular paprika, 1 tablespoon, and 1 tablespoon of the hot Hungarian paprika. So 2 tablespoons total. I'm going to mix this all together. And if you can't find Hungarian, just use your regular paprika or smoked even. It would be great. So we're just going to get this all mixed together and put them all in this electric skillet. And then once I get them in there, I'm just going to leave them be for a little bit. This thing does work really nice. You can see that my chicken's still a little bit frozen, so I'm just going to leave it sit. And we're going to turn it and when it gets some good color on it, and then we're going to remove it. So here we go. Bam, look at that color. Scrump delicious. That looks really good. Also, I've noticed that once it heats up, it starts to come apart, and I have more pieces than I thought, as you can see. It's a good thing I have all this space. So this recipe here will feed quite a few people and a large family. So we had it last night, and we're having it again tonight because it really turned out super delicious. So good. This chicken is so tender, and the sauce is so unctuous. And then we're going to serve it over spatzel. If you've never had spatzel, it's kind of like a pasta, but it's like a little tiny pasta. It's German, Hungarian, whatever. It all tastes good together. So we're going to cook this chicken until it's almost cooked all the way through. And because it's frozen, I'm not going to trust it. But I am going to take it out here in just a minute when it's pretty well cooked through, because I have to add some more stuff to it, as you will see. Hey, you guys, if you're looking for different types of recipes, like international or something new and different that, we always get in a rut, consider subscribing to my channel. I have recipes from all over the world. This is just one of them. Hungarian chicken paprikash. So I'm going to start to remove the chicken here. It looks pretty good. And look at all that delicious flavor at the bottom. All that fond and paprika and butter. So this is a whole onion that I chopped up. It doesn't look like much, and that's simply because of the absolute ginormous size of my cooking surface. So I'm just going to stir these around and cook them just for a few minutes. You don't want to have to cook them until they're completely done and translucent, because we're going to cook this for a little bit longer anyway. So just until they begin to soften up. At that point, we're going to add a can of plum tomatoes. Plum tomatoes. And we're going to put the lid on. You can see right now they're a little bit tough because they're whole. So we're going to cook them for a while, and then they'll soften right up. And then I'll get my potato masher out, and we will just get these a good little work over. A few minutes later, maybe 5, you can see once I get my masher, it really does do wonders. Now look at it. The sauce takes on a whole different level of existence here. So crush them all out. And the little bites of tomato as you eat this are just so good. Now that I have it all mashed out, I'm going to put my chicken back in for about 5 minutes just to make sure it's cooked all the way through. And again, the acid of the tomatoes will help tenderize those chicken thighs so they're like butter. So good. And plus, we'll let the flavors all meld together. This is the first time chicken had a bath with the tomatoes and onions. So I'll put it on for another 5-10 minutes. Now I'm going to take the chicken back out. I know you're like, wait, what? It's, there's a method to my madness here. It doesn't take you but a second to remove it. And this is just so we can make the sauce officially the sauce and without having to worry about it getting a good mix. So into this, I'm going to add 1/3 of a cup of sour cream. It almost gives it a stroganoff-like flavor, but not quite. So, and I'm also going to add another teaspoon of paprika. I did that off camera, so don't forget that little part. So you can see here that the sauce is starting to get a little thicker and it's changing color. That sour cream adds a coolness and it mellows out some of that hot paprika. And it just gives it that slow cooked, just yum city flavor. I'm going to turn that burner off because I don't want my sour cream to separate. That would be a bad thing. Now I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream. And we're going to give that a stir. Now my pan's still warm, which is a good thing, but it's turned off because I do not want it to, like I said, to break and separate. Doesn't that already look delicious? So now that I got it all mixed up together, I'm going to put the chicken back in. And then I'm going to turn my heat back on to warm. I've already got my spatula cooking on the stove top, and that takes a little bit of time too. So let's put these to bed, and we can let all those flavors come together. Because we're done now. This cooking part is 100% done. So let's drain our spatula, put it on the plate, and get ready to eat. Because that's what we're all about. Look at this. Yum City. It started to bubble, so I turned the heat off. And it does maintain warmth really well. So I got my spatula, and I'm going to get some sauce. Because the sauce is everything. And the chicken, fork tender, so good and yummy. I'm here to tell you, you're going to like it. And I smell it, and it's wafting up in my face. And look at that thing of beauty right there. I hope you try this. If you do, let me know. Thanks.